Hello, you're kicking off the Thursday's edition of Qpvn Election News Bulletin. You're with Milinji and the headlines. Party General Secretary To Lâm was with the General Political Department of Vietnam People's Army. Vietnam and Turkey signed defense cooperation agreement. MART, new support model for Vietnam's agent-oriented victims. On July the 23rd, Party General Secretary To Lâm, Secretary of the Central Military Commission, worked with the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army. The event saw the attendance of members of the Politburo and Secretariat. General Phan Văn Gia, Minister of National Defense, and General Trịnh Văn Quyết, Chairman of the General Political Department, along with other senior military leaders, attended the event. General Secretary To Lâm extended his best regards to the leaders of the Central Military Commission, the Ministry of National Defense, and the leaders of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, as well as to the officers and soldiers of the General Department. At the working session, General Trịnh Văn Quyết, Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, briefed General Secretary To Lâm and the working delegation on some outstanding results of party and political work in the first 6 months of 2025 and key tasks in the coming term. Since the beginning of the year, the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army has effectively implemented solutions to improve the quality of political and ideological education work. At the same time, rigorously implement dissemination work on new and historic policies and guidelines, especially the emerger of administrative units and the resolutions to bring the country into a new era. We're taking the lead in disseminating the country's political events, defense and military tasks and defense diplomacy, contributing to spreading the image of the military, the country, and the Vietnamese people to international friends. General Phan Văn Gia, Minister of National Defense, emphasized the significance of the General Political Department's achievements in the first 6 months of 2025. Through the tasks and dissemination work, the fine image of Uncle soldiers and the military is widely spread, creating a good effect among the public and international friends. Speaking at the event, the party chief stressed that the General Political Department is a particularly important strategic advisory agency responsible for party and political work in the whole military. That is a significant field of work with leading position and role in the military. General Secretary To Lâm was pleased to see that the work of military personnel and military contingent building advised by the General Political Department achieved many positive results, meeting the requirements of adjusting the organization of the military to be highly skilled, regular, and strong. The party chief emphasized that in the coming term, the world and regional situation are forecast to continue to develop rapidly and complicatedly. Domestically, the party and state have recently made many major and important decisions, especially the restructuring of the government apparatus, the promulgation of implementation of 4 important resolutions of the party, aiming to help the country take off in the new area. The situation poses new and heavier responsibilities for the cause of building the military, strengthening defense, and safeguarding the fatherland. General Secretary To Lâm believed that the General Political Department could continue to successfully carry out all assigned tasks, making important contribution to building a revolutionary, disciplined, elite, and modern Vietnam People's Army. On behalf of the officers and soldiers of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army and the Home Military, General Trịnh Văn Quyết thanked the party, state, and General Secretary To Lâm, Secretary of the Central Military Commission, for their profound attention towards the military and the General Political Department, while respectfully grasping the contents of the working session with the contents of the party chief's instructions to concretize and implement them most effectively in the coming term. Marking the 70th Wounded Veterans and Martyrs Day, President Lương Cường visited and presented gifts to wounded veterans at Reup Nursing Center in Ninh Bình Province. The delegation included Senior Lieutenant General Phạm Hoài Nam, Deputy Minister of National Defense. President Lương Cương warmly inquired after the veterans, expressing deep respect for them, accolades for revolutionary veterans, heroic Vietnamese mothers, People's Armed Forces heroes, and families of fallen soldiers nationwide. He affirmed that today's and future generation of the Vietnamese people will always remember the value of peace and must work to preserve and build a prosperous, lasting Vietnam with their sacrifice. On this occasion, the President, along with the Ministry of National Defense and Military Revolutionary Command, presented gifts to wounded veterans and families of martyrs receiving care at the center. During an official visit to Turkey, Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, the Minister of National Defense, led a delegation from the Vietnamese Ministry of National Defense to meet with Turkish Minister of National Defense Yas Güler. Also attending the event were Turkish Deputy Defense Minister Musa Haybet and Vietnamese Ambassador to Turkey Đặng Thị Thu Hà. Minister Güler welcomed the delegation and praised the growing cooperation between the two countries and their defense militaries. He also thanked Vietnam for sending a high-level delegation to the 2025 International Defense Industry Fair, RIDEF 2025. Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến expressed appreciation for Turkey's warm reception and the scale of RIDEF 2025. Invited Turkish defense industry enterprises to participate in the Vietnam International Defense Expo scheduled for late 2026. On the occasion, Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến delivered an invitation letter from General Phan Văn Giang, Vietnamese Minister of National Defense, inviting Minister Güler to visit Vietnam. He emphasized that both sides' decision to appoint resident defense attaché would deepen and strengthen bilateral defense ties. Vietnam is ready to support Turkey in establishing its defense attaché office in Vietnam as soon as possible. Vietnam attaches great importance to international cooperation in the defense industry and supports partnerships based on equality, mutual benefit, and respect for Vietnamese and international law. The Vietnamese Deputy Defense Minister proposed enhanced collaboration in areas such as delegation exchanges, training, unexploded ordnance clearance, defense industry, UN peacekeeping, cybersecurity, and non-traditional security challenges. On the same day, Deputy Minister Hoàng Xuân Chiến and Musa Haybet signed a bilateral defense cooperation agreement, marking a significant milestone in bilateral defense relations and creating a framework for more practical and effective cooperation, contributing to stronger Vietnam-Turkey ties. The cemetery in Hoàng Cung, Kham Phu Thot Province, found resting place of 17 Chinese soldiers and advisors who supported the Vietnamese Revolution, has been fully restored. Originally built in 1969, the site was upgraded under the direction of the Ministry of National Defense and Military Revolution II, with the Phu Thot Military Command and local authorities leading the effort. The project reflects Vietnam's tradition of gratitude and helps strengthen the enduring friendship between Vietnam and China. Coming up next, MART new support model for Vietnam's Agent Orange victims. Vietnamese brands are elevation on global stage. On July 23rd, the Belgian ambassador to Vietnam and leaders of the Vietnam Association for Victims of Agent Orange visited affected families and inaugurated 3 An Vui MART stores in Dong Nai province. Funded by the Belgian government and people, An Vui MART is a pilot community store model supporting Agent Orange victims. It not only provides essential goods but also enables victims to run businesses, boost income, and integrate into society, while promoting local solidarity. The delegation also met with Dong Nai officials to discuss victim support and future cooperation. The Belgian ambassador emphasized that aiding Agent Orange victims reflects both humanitarian values and the strong Vietnam-Belgian friendship, expressing hope that the model will expand across the country. On July 23rd in Hanoi, a business matching conference was co-organized by the Vietnam Trade Promotion Agency and Amazon Global Styling Vietnam. At the event, the two sides announced a 3-year partnership to launch the Global Growth for Vietnamese Brands program. Running from 2025 to 2027, the program has the two main goals of offering a comprehensive training and e-export certification program for 1,000 Vietnamese businesses and supporting 30 national brands in expanding their global presence via Amazon's e-commerce platforms. Speakers emphasize that proactively diversifying trade promotion efforts in the digital space is no longer optional, but essential for enhancing competitiveness, adaptability, and sustainable growth of Vietnamese enterprises in international markets. The partnership aims to help businesses in emerging economic regions innovate products, accelerate digital transformation, and expand globally. On July the 23rd, the authorities of Cần Thơ City hosted a meeting with local entrepreneurs, enterprises, and investors to hear their feedback on business operations in 2025. Running from 2025 to 2027, the program has the two main goals of offering a comprehensive training and e-export certification program for 1,000 Vietnamese businesses and supporting 30 national brands in expanding their global presence via Amazon's e-commerce platforms. Speakers emphasize that proactively diversifying trade promotion efforts in the digital space is no longer optional, but essential for enhancing competitiveness, adaptability, and sustainable growth of Vietnamese enterprises in international markets. The partnership aims to help businesses in emerging economic regions innovate products, accelerate digital transformation, and expand globally. With the resolute efforts of local authorities and the solidarity of the people, Thái Nguyên province is on track to meet its target of eliminating temporary and dilapidated housing, bringing rays of hope to hundreds of local poor households. Hoàng Bình Quang and his family suffered from poverty. The three generations together lived in a rundown house. In 2025, we received financial support of over $2,200 for the house repair. After nearly 2 months of construction, their long-awaited dream home had been completed, bringing the warmth of happiness and peace to the family. In just 2 months, our new house had been completed. We used to live in a shabby home and always dreamed of a better one. Then we have received the care from the party and the state. We are truly happy now. In Ba Bể Khăm, nearly 250 houses have also been either built or renovated through the program's funding. We have supported residents in the house's construction. For those facing financial difficulties and lacking corporate funding, we've worked with the social policy banks to provide the access to loans. We are determined to follow the planned roadmap for eliminating temporary and dilapidated houses. According to statistics, nearly 5,000 houses in 37 northern communes and wards of Thái Nguyên are expected to receive housing assistance by the end of 2025. As of July the 8th, the construction had been completed for 4,170 homes. We have accelerated the progress of eliminating temporary and dilapidated housing with 80% of the target achieved. This July, we aim to complete homes for those with material services, and by August, homes for the remaining households will have been completed. Since early June 2025, the province has dispatched 16 working groups to localities to oversee inspections, compile benefits released, and develop work plans. The implementation of substandard housing not only provides residents with safe and well-equipped homes, but also rekindles hope for a better life. It is the end of the English News Bulletin today. You can watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Goodbye and see you next time.